Girls, what was the most obvious hint you dropped, and the guy just didn't get it? 1. I once asked a guy if I could kiss him. We had been hanging out in a way that was conducive to that, and he said yes. I kissed him. It was great. But then we just parted ways in a natural way. 3 days later, this man calls me all shocked that I was hitting on him. He told a friend about the interaction and they had to point it out. Sir, I literally kissed you. 2. I'm sitting here laughing only because, yes, as men we are that oblivious. The missed opportunities over the years are just mind-blowing. 3. For the record, there are a million guys who just go for what they want and don't take the hints or explicit protests that the behavior is unwanted. Many guys realize this and want to either distance themselves from that image or assume the women around them have dealt with it so long that they're just sick of men and not interested in them. A few extremely vocal women do communicate this. There's also a lot of guys who've basically trained themselves to avoid looking for signals specifically because they can be so easily misinterpreted. They won't believe information that's not communicated verbally and explicitly. And some of us are just idiots. 4. As I like to say, a lot of guys mistake friendliness for flirting, but a lot of guys know a lot of guys mistake friendliness for flirting, so they'll think a girl is flirting with them, then think, oh wait, I'm doing the thing where I mistake friendliness for flirting, even when they're mistaking flirting mistaken for friendliness mistaken for flirting. 5. I hooked up with an old work colleague about a year ago and I asked her if she was flirting with me a couple of years earlier, but I was just too dumb to realize. Turns out she wasn't. She was just being friendly, but at the time I suspected it was more than that. It's a bloody minefield. 6. I too have questions from interactions from over 10 years ago now that I do not have answers to. And at this point, with everyone getting married and whatnot, I'm too afraid to ask lol. 7. Better to be a dork than a creep. 8. Seriously. I can look back and cringe at my dorky behavior, and it's okay because I was just figuring things out. I don't think the same could be said if I was acting like a creep. 9. So much yes to this. Thanks for erring on the dork side. I hope you have found someone deserving of your amazing self. 10. And some of us are just idiots. How many idiots we got on this ship? Everyone stands up. Yo. 11. I knew it. I'm surrounded by idiots. 12. Hey. Some of us fit in all of those, you know? Mainly the very last one, but definitely a fair bit of each. 13. Sitting here laughing as well because this is so painfully true. Thinking about all my missed opportunities. 14. Captain Oblivious reporting for duty. 15. I had a lady friend that when I bent down to tie my shoelaces, she hit me with her butt to try to knock me over. This same friend ended up breaking up some of my closest friends. Granted, I also, though she was a close friend, less than like 4 or 5 months later. Some people are just flirty. Sure, it's not kissing, but she was super touchy. 16. Are you sure this wasn't an obnoxious mule that pretended to be a person? Did you do a main check? 17. But then we just parted ways in a natural way. His thoughts, she must have wanted to check if she is interested in men or women. 18. I once sat in a guy's lap and kissed him on the mouth. Still didn't believe I liked him. He confirmed this years later. High school boys are dumb. 19. A girl back in high school did the same to me once. Turned out she was trying to make another guy jealous interested. I felt a bit bad being used like that. I don't go for hints anymore, ha. 20. That's when you tell her, you heard him say? She'll have to do a lot more than that to make me jealous. 21. Sadly in my case this man was 25. Bless his heart. 22. I asked him out on a movie date after already spending hours talking to him, just the two of us. I had already given him lots of compliments, told him how I loved to be around him, how I really enjoyed his company. During the date, I paid for the tickets, he paid the snacks, I went to sit closer and tried to grab his hand. He genuinely thought I just wanted the armrest and moved away from me. I had to literally tell him I had feelings for him after the movie, and even then he asked me what I meant. We're married now, have 2 kids, and I know he'll never cheat because he'll never ever notice anyone flirting with him. And you know, trust and loyalty. 23. You literally told the man you had feelings for him and he still didn't get the hint. 24. You know, I have a lot of feelings for you. Like disgust? That's how I'm imagining the conversation. The word feelings can mean anything, really. 25. We're Belgian and speak Flemish, and I do remember most of the conversation. A literal translation would be more like, I really like you and want a relationship with you. Ha. Like a friend's relationship. No, like a couple. Oh. And then it took him 10 minutes to figure himself out and actually say yes. 26. Like a couple of friends. 27. No, a quintet. Of course a fucking couple of friends, you goose. 28. We get to fuck, too? This friendship is awesome. Oh wait a minute. 29. He's still not sure what you meant. He's just going along with it at this point. 30. I just messaged him. He told me he was not aware he is married. He thought the ring on his finger was to remind him to take out the trash. 31. You share a bed, a mortgage, and responsibility for children, because that's just fiscal responsibility. 32. It does, but if a girl compliments you multiple times on a date, says how much she loves spending time with you, constantly gets closer to you and tries to hold your hand, then after all that, says that she has feelings for you, and you take that as she may have feelings of disgust, you may want to take a look at your day-to-day observation skills. 33. It's hard to believe trust such things sometimes. Personally, I would need a notary-approved statement of intent and a week for consideration before allowing myself to believe that someone might have genuine interest in me. 34. You know, I have a lot of feelings for you. Oh, sorry, am I sitting too close? Here, let me move over a seat. 35. Yup. I adore him, but sometimes he's just dumb. 36. Ha, fair enough, glad you two are happy. 37. But does she really mean that or just being nice, dude? 38. That's someone that's had too many girls in school say they liked him then to turn around and say it was a joke. 39. Many men, myself included, simply don't believe that a woman might be interested in them sexually. Hence they don't get the hints. 40. Also, we hear all the time about how women try to be friendly to men and the men interpret any positive attention as romantic interest. So instead we overreact the other direction and treat any positive attention from girls as just friendliness. 41. Or they don't trust others that love them, since all the people that were supposed to love them in their formative years used that connection for abuse. So when someone gets around to trying to love you, you spend your efforts looking for their cruel intentions and figuring out how you need to defend yourself. 42. Spot on. 43. This is exactly it. I was either emotionally abused or used for sex. Trust me, when you want connection and that's all you get, it isn't cool. I've been with the same woman since I was 20 and we're now getting a divorce. I'm 48. It was amicable at first, but then she turned ugly. I hate you, you're worthless, you bring nothing of value. Moves to keep my kid. It's like she took the lady version of a red pill. That's the person I spent half my life with. What makes anyone think I'm going to put myself into that again? I'd rather be sad and alone instead of sad and abused. 44. I don't remember writing this comment, but this is exactly down to the last detail the story of my husband and I. We even went on a movie date and he moved his arm when I went to sit my next to his. We are also married with 2 kids and I have zero worries about him cheating. He's oblivious and even doubts that I am attracted sometimes. 45. Luckily we both persisted. 46. How did you break it to him that you guys were marrying each other? 47. He may still not know that you're into him. 48. Her. I've got feelings for ya, lad. Him. What you on about now? Is it contagious? 49. After dinner and drinks, I asked if he wanted to go back to my place and watch Bob's Burgers. He said he didn't really like cartoons. I said, "We don't have to watch anything, we can do other things." He replied, "Then what would we do?" with a genuinely puzzled expression. I figured it was clear he wasn't interested and figured we had fun and called it a night, especially since he had mentioned wanting to beat that traffic getting home. Kinda bummed, but I figured life goes on, and then 20 minutes later he texted me and said, "Not gonna lie, I wanted you so badly tonight." I was like, "I didn't think so, because I invited you up and you declined?" And suddenly he realized I was inviting him for sex. He flipped out and asked if he could come back over lol. He did, and finally got it, and we had snacks and drinks and sex. Dated for a few months. Pretty cool guy, but absolutely clueless. 50. Dude was probably thinking, "Oh, if I say I don't want to be stuck in traffic, she may have me stay the night." Smooth move. 51. No, he was really like, "I gotta get out soon, don't want get stuck in traffic." I asked him about it later and he said he was nervous and didn't know what to say, so he thought if he kept talking about traffic I would think he was cautious. Not completely unreasonable, I guess, but all it did was make me think he needed to go immediately because 9:30 p.m. traffic on a Wednesday was apparently deadly. 52. Plus, it being rural Iowa, traffic is something you just see in movies. 53. I didn't go up for coffee once because I don't like coffee. Yeah. 54. Could I just have a glass of water? 55. My now wife and her friend tried to get me to go out with both of them to a movie that I'd been talking about wanting to see for weeks. I declined. I don't want to be a third wheel. But they said they already had tickets. I thought they were just being nice and I didn't want to intrude in their girls' night. I said they could return my ticket, but thanks so much anyway. I'm a fool on so many levels. 56. Hey, sounds like it all worked out for you though. 57. Sue? You missed a threesome. 58. I'm thinking a chaperone date where she didn't want to be alone necessarily until she got to know him. Maybe the friend was supposed to either stay with them if given one code word, or leave them alone if given another. 59. Getting my tits out? 60. That's not a hint, that's two very strong arguments. 61. So you would be surprised. 62. One time this lady got her tits out then started crying. I asked what's wrong and she said guys just see her as a pair of tits. I'm like, you pulled him out. I don't know what's going on. I went to bed. 63. Erica. Geez, I will never live this down. 64. Maybe she's from Canada and was just being nice. 65. I've been platonically flashed before, so I definitely don't blame that guy. 66. I wish I had different friends growing up. 67. I went swimming with a friend at his cousin's, who had a pool. It took me years to realize that they were flashing me and not having wardrobe malfunctions. But to this day I think they were mocking me, not hitting on me. 68. Tell your mom to behave herself and quit sending mixed messages. 69. A friend flashed me in high school. She definitely was not interested. I think half the school had seen her tits. 70. Woman shows you her tits unsolicited. Man shows you his dick unsolicited. 71. Also applies to show your arse to all your mates. Show your arse to one mate. 72. Hey friend, you got a little something on your cough. Envy him, it's fine, I'll just look up. 73. We'd been flirting for months. I told him I was going out for dinner. Did he want to come too? He declined. I figured that he wasn't interested and it was just fun flirting, not real flirting. Oh well. Years later he asked me if I was asking him out. When I said I totally was, he was just I didn't realize until like a week later and practically died of shame because I was into you. We were with different people by then and had a good chuckle about it. 74. Ha hey. 75. I took my whole shirt off for him to treat my sunburn. He was flabbergasted to say the least. His dad even suggested he should do it in the first place. I visited his family over summer break. His dad even suggested he slept with me in the guest room opposed to his own as it was cooler there. People kept making remarks. He asked me if it bothered me. I said, "No, I don't mind it." He made a whole speech in front of everyone to stop it. Made me think I was the stupid one, lol. Took him 3 months to catch up to what everyone was seeing in a second. 76. He was thinking, wow, I'm so deep in the friend zone that she doesn't blink an eye at taking her shirt off in front of me. I'd better not be creepy since I don't want to ruin this friendship. 77. 110% that would be me if I was ever in that scenario. 78. I spent the night at a friend's place and in the morning she wanted to change. So she started stripping down nonchalantly. I turned away out of respect. I thought she was tired and didn't realize or something. And I definitely didn't want to ruin the friendship by creeping. 79. Guy here can confirm that's what I was thinking as I read it. 80. This happened to me. She took her shirt off so I could draw on her back. I'm an artist and she wanted to try a tattoo idea and faced me. I kept my eyes locked on hers and did not look at her breasts. I so badly wanted to be a gentleman that I completely missed the hint. 81. On moments like that a man's pupils feel something akin Jupiter's force of gravity trying to bring them down. 82. Been there. To be fair, she had explicitly said on multiple occasions that nothing was ever going to happen between us. A few years later we were living in the same town again, and we went out to catch up and she says, "How come you never asked me out back then? I'd have said yes if you had. This is why I have issues." 83. You can laugh about it, but it's true. Happened to me. If a girl is taking off her clothes in front of you she either wants to bang, or you're so deep in the friend zone she doesn't even see you as someone potentially interested in sex. 84. This is exactly what goes through a guy's mind, to a T. 85. His dad is a top-tier wingman, respect. 86. Oh, he has an awesome dad who obviously likes you. 87. 2 nights ago I asked my boyfriend, "Can I get some of that?" and touched his crotch. After about 30 minutes of weirdness, I said, "Hey, it's okay if you don't want to do anything. Let's just go to bed." And he hit me back with a, "Wait, I didn't know you wanted sex. Why didn't you say anything?" 88. My BF the other night was like, "What do you want to do tonight?" And I said, "You." He laughed, then went back to playing his video games. Then I said, "Oh well, we don't have to if you don't want to." And he didn't know what I was talking about. Like. 89. Okay, but my wife will do that kind of thing just flirtatiously sometimes, so I get it. Sometimes that is more like, "I'm comfortable enough with you to remind you I enjoy this thing." Rather than, "I want this right now." I do it to her too. It's just like, life is stressful and I'm tired, but remember I enjoy your privates. It makes sense in my head, id. 90. I was thinking the same. My wife does stuff like this all the time, but isn't actually in the mood. 91. My husband and I also do this. 92. I understand this for sure. It's not my mindset, but maybe that's his. I do think there's a difference between saying, "Nice ween," when you're in the car as a reminder, and saying, "Wanna do this?" in bed. 93. I hate that this entire post is just different versions of, "I didn't think she could be into me." Because it's me. 94. Told a dude I loved him. He laughed and said I was funny, thought that meant he wasn't interested. He ended up asking me out an hour later when I asked what changed. He said he told his mom and sister what I said and talked some sense into him. 95. It's a good thing at least he did listen to two women who had his best interest at heart. That's encouraging. 96. I love to see that text thread. What do you think she means by that? 97. Had my crush over and we were sitting in my living room and I looked at him in a manner I felt was admiring and said, I do like it when you come to visit. And bless him, he looks up and smiles and says, I like visiting too. So I say, but I really like it when you come to visit. And he smiles wider and says, I really like it too. And goes back to what he was doing and says no more. I've been out of the game too long. I suck at this. 98. I once asked a guy straight up if he wanted to f me and then he laughed and kept talking about something else. Then an hour later, he called and asked if I was serious, to which I said yes. And he was like, oh huh, I didn't know that was an actual option. 99. I would like to think it was buzzed me missing the hint, but no, it was clueless me. With friends group at a bar, hot girl and I were flirty, I chalked it up to booze. Some other rondo makes horrid comments, she's in tears, wants to go. I volunteer as her apt is on my way. Walk her to her door. She insists I come in for coffee to wake me up. Sure, coffee sounds good. Then nope, after coffee she thinks I should sleep there to be safe. I'm welcome to share the bed, but she sleeps in the nude so I do, too. She literally had to say she wanted to F because I was not getting it. 100. I mean, I honestly would have assumed she was one of those nudists and that she was well aware I'd get horny, so was giving me a heads up to not get any ideas if I was allowed to sleep over. 101. I laid on top of him, fully clothed, we were just hanging out, looked him dead in the face, and said, hey, I like you as more than a friend and would like to kiss your face. And it still took him a week. Together for 8 years, married for 2. 102. I've been reading this whole thread out loud to my husband and we're having the best time, and this is the one that made him exclaim out loud. We have to know, what was his response in the moment? And for the next 6 days? Are you sure that he knows that you two are married? Because honestly, it does seem like you're just being nice. 103. In the moment he went, okay, and literally nothing else? He describes it as, I blue screened out of panic. You're pretty and wanted to kiss me. What was I supposed to do? And then 6 days later, after texting me like normal the whole week, he texted me saying, I would also like to kiss you, if the offer's still open. Which it was. I am sure he knows, because I constantly tell him. 104. I actually asked my now husband out on our first couple of dates. And asked him to marry me. Been married 23 years soon. Pretty sure he still doesn't get it sometimes. 105. Does he know he is married? 106. I'm sure he'll piece some hints, the wedding, rings, living together and calling each other spouses, etc. Together in a few years. 107. I thought you liked the Lord of the Rings so much that you got us matching cosplay rings. 108. This thread's gonna hurt. I always realize I'm being hit on like years later. Full years. Just hits me all at once. Oh well. 109. It's either going to be how did I miss that or none of this ever happens to me. 110. I am more familiar with the latter issue. 111. I am a man, so this isn't what you asked for, but I would love to offer my story about how my wife of almost 6 years and I got together, since it sort of applies to the topic at hand. So, I met her at 35. I was single, she had a boyfriend. We had incredible chemistry, but I had been around the block a lot by then and was determined to not read past a solid friendship. We were friends and I was an adult and not about to do anything that might disrespect this. Throughout the summer we got to know each other more and more. It was a perfect, effortless close friendship. Summer ends and so does her relationship. I do not see this as an opportunity for anything more than our friendship. Sure, we'd be perfect together, but I pushed those thoughts out because again I didn't want to disrespect her or our friendship. We would hang out, go dancing with friends, etc. She was newly single, but we were friends before and nothing really changed. So summer turns to fall. One Friday night in October we were supposed to go out dancing with friends. She's like, "Would you rather just stay in and watch a movie?" Would I ever? That's one of my favorite things to do. And as an aficionado of bad movies, I love showing friends great bad movies that I love. And I had just the movie, 1980's The Apple, a disco rock opera dystopian biblical allegory musical about a future, 1994, run by an evil disco record producer who might also be the devil. No, really. So DVD in hand I go over to her new apartment. I get there and her living room is a huge space with a tiny little 13 TV DVD combo unit. Well, not ideal, but it will have to do. So she says, "If you want we can watch it on the iMac in my bedroom." And I'm like, "Sure. That's fine." Again, I am reading nothing into this. Friends can watch a movie in a bedroom. That's a thing friends can do. So we get into the bedroom and I load the disc on the iMac. I am ready to show her this movie. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed and she sits back against the headboard against the pillows. She's like, "You don't have to sit all the way up there. You can sit back here if you want." And again I am taking zero hints. I don't want to be that guy and read things that maybe aren't there, and again I value and respect our friendship. But I'm like, "Sure." And sit back there next to her. Friends can do that. So it's kinda chilly. She gets under the blanket. It's October after all. She then tells me that if I'm cold I can get under them too. Sure. I guess that's fine. Friends can sit under the same blanket. That's not weird. Lol. So she starts getting closer and cozying up to me. I swear to God I am not being coy when I say my thoughts in this moment are, okay, well, I guess friends can snuggle. That doesn't mean anything. I am picking up no signals at all. Then she starts kissing me. And we've been together ever since. I am neither cool nor clever. 112. Great story, love it. Happy for you. 113. Wait, that movie sounds amazing. As a fellow connoisseur of terrible movies, I'm gonna have to track that one down. 114. Not a girl, but I can speak to this one. When I was 17 I went to a lake party. There were probably 6 of us there, along with a girl I knew. When I got there she asked me if we could pretend to be dating because one of the other guys there kept asking her out and she wasn't interested in him. Hint number 1. I agreed and we hung out. She kept holding my hand, cuddling up to me, etc. Hint number 2. Eventually we all went swimming in the lake. I didn't realize there would be swimming, so I didn't have any trunks and ended up swimming in my boxers. It was a big lake, so eventually this girl and I were away from the others and she asked if I minded if she swam topless. Hint number 3, which I did not. We swam for a while and she eventually wanted to rejoin the group. She was fairly short and they were in deeper water, so she asked if she could hang on to my shoulders. So I had this topless girl pressing her tits against my bare back. Hint number 4, while we swam. She stopped me partway and said she didn't want to rejoin the group yet, so she got off. She put her arm around me and I did the same to her while we just kind of floated for a bit. Hint number 5. Eventually she sliped her hand down a bit and asked if she could put her hand into my pants. Are they even hints anymore? Number 6. She did, but hovered above my dick and never touched more than the base of it. She then asked if she could kiss me, which I agreed to. Obvious flirting. Number 7. We shared a short kiss that was rather chaste. Don't forget that I thought we were just friends pretending to date at this point, before she quickly swam off and I didn't see her anymore that night. I don't recall seeing her much ever again after that night, actually. I was in my early 20s when it hit me what had actually been happening. So, yes, I was oblivious enough to not get the hint even when a topless girl literally put her hand down my pants and kissed me. 115. You poor stupid bastard. 116. Bro practically got a hand job and he's just like, that must be how they say hello where she's from. 117. Dude. Stories like these make me feel better about my stupidity in life. Thanks for sharing. Lol. 118. I once went on a mountain hike with a girl I liked. We were friends, but things had been flirty. We got to the top of a ridge and there was a small tarn there. I boldly suggested skinny dipping and she agreed. She got nude and so did I and I hopped in. After a few flirty splashes I moved in for a kiss. Immediate back away. What are you doing? Gets out and gets dressed and says she has to go. She starts walking down the mountain alone as I'm getting dressed. So, I sat there for a while and just thought about life for a bit before I eventually walked down by myself, too. I barely ever saw her again. So are men really oblivious when it comes to hints, or are we just scared shitless of things like this happening? Thank God this happened before smartphones or Facebook. 119. Yeah. One experience like this and we become oblivious forever. 120. Not a girl, but it happened with a friend. A girl invited him to a dinner at her place, then after some Netflix she got under the blanket and challenged him to guess if she'd be able to get naked under the blanket right there without him noticing. Granted, it was nearly first such interaction he was completely clueless and just discarded that as goofing around with a friend. Edit, I can't spell even with the autocomplete. 121. Oof. I got second-hand cringe from this on. 122. Guy here, just 2 examples where I didn't get the hint and it haunts me. Went out with a few friends to a few bars and a club. I wasn't drinking so I drove everyone there and everyone back. 2 girls and 2 guys and me on the car home, and my friend jumps in the front and says we should drop off the other couple and the guy first and she will stay in the car with me even though we pass her house on the way to the others. For some reason I said that stupid your place is literally just over there and dropped her off first. As I pull away from her house after dropping her off, the others tell me that I'm a moron and I still didn't get it until they basically spelled it out for me and had been hinting at me all few times during the night out apparently. Another time I was traveling with my newish girlfriend and her best friend. I was already in the place and they were joining me. Her friend told me to save some money, we can just get the one room, and as the bed's big, I say don't worry about it, the rooms are super cheap, and got 2 rooms. I got told I was being an idiot. I thought for spending extra money when it's not needed, and recently I got told that no, I was an idiot as they were seeing if I'd be happy for a night with both and totally missed a shot I didn't know was happening. 123. Damn, that hurts. I missed a threesome too. 124. Oblivious to her or not, when you're a driver with that many people to drop off, your mind is on logistics. You get a bit of a pass on that one from me. And the next one, unless it's your partner saying it, you shouldn't just assume the third party hinting at a threesome is cool with your BF. If those girls wanted a 3-way, they should have been clearer. That's on them, not you.